Hello, this is Casper and welcome back to another Umbraco tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be looking a bit more about how to actually build your pages. So far we've just been looking about the Umbraco, what it can do, what it looks like, how to where the users are and so on. But today we'll be discovering a bit more what it can actually be used for, which is of course why I'm doing these tutorials, and that is to create websites. So let's just dive directly into it. Just start up our application. This is the test application that I'm running and have been running ever since the start. And let's launch it. Control F5 to launch the application, just in case you didn't know. And yeah, I've got two screens, you can't see them both. Right, there we go. If this is the first time you launch your application, then of course you'll get to here. And to get into the Umbraco Back Office, you can do two things. You can press the Open Umbraco button, or you can just write /Umbraco. That'll take you to the login page, and yep, here's my email and my password. It remembers it. Yeah, if we should want to change this, for example, we'd go to users and then press the button to see all the users. I'd open me, for example, and my username. For example, if you don't want to have to log in with this long email, it's just my email, but if you don't want to have to log in with your long email, just take this away and replace it with whatever you want. I'll use my normal username, and I'd like to change my password to yeah, 1234. I think that's already what it was, but I don't remember. And in here you can set all the yeah, what it says, email, user type, administrator. We'll get into all this members and user yeah, rights, I guess you call it later. And of course the language, German, Danish, English, UK and US. Yeah, and of course maybe you'd ask what's the difference between English, UK and US. It's not really the words, not that I know of, but it is the date and time format that it uses. For example, in the UK you'd probably write the dates in another way than you would in the US. I don't know, I'm not actually from the UK, but yeah. Okay, right. And yeah, here if you were to create a new user, users, as I mentioned in the previous episode, access the back office, and members log into the website. But if you were to create a new user by right clicking and pressing create, then you'd have to fill in these some of this stuff, and then you'd be able to say, okay, the next user is only a writer or an editor, and he or she can only access the content and the media area, because there's no need for them to go to the settings, developers, sections, or users, or members, or forms. But perhaps they would like to go to the translation part. Anyway, after I just turned on translation, just because I can, and we press save. Or Control S, that's also a way to save. And now I should have access to it, wherever that is, wherever these things may be. And yeah. Well, yeah, I'll show you that also in a bit later. Oh, sorry, that was my Overwolf, which is what I'm using to film this. But anyway, let's get started. So, the way Umbraco works is you don't just create a new page and then that's it. First you have to create something called a document type. And to do that we go to settings, and the document type is basically just this document that I'm creating. For example, a page, what does it need to have? No. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Press here on the arrow, there's nothing there yet, so we can either click here or right click and say create, and here we just give a name, for example, and this will be the master page. Well, that's how you should work, not usually from Umbraco. So the master page is going to be the page that all child pages will derive from. Sorry, and well, yeah, the layout, stuff like that. But yeah, layout. Script files, CSS files, stuff like that. So let's just call it master. Oh, yep, master. And create. And it'll also create a matching template. And you'll see that in a minute. So we'll push create. Right, so we have our master template. And if we go to master document type and master template. So if we go into template, this is where you want to put all your code. But let's look at this line first. Inherits Umbraco web MVC template page. Firstly, if you guys don't know, then this is Razor, and that's what is being used in Umbraco 7 together with MVC. And the way you start Razor or code is with an @ sign, like in the email, the @ This will initiate Razor, and usually all normal template files created in Umbraco will inherit from the Umbraco template page, which is located in the umbraco.web.mbc place. And the layout for this page should always be null, because we're not referencing any master template or master page. But anyway, here we want our basic layout, so we could just start by typing something and have that put out on the screen, but let's do it properly. So I'll start up a new tab, Control T for that, by the way, and we'll go to Bootstrap. I like using Bootstrap, it's easy and I've used it for many years, and it just makes everything a whole lot easier. Oh, sorry, Bootstrap CDN. And don't worry if you don't know Bootstrap, that's not a big problem, but I do like to use it. And also we need Jquery. I'm pretty sure Jquery is actually already in Umbraco, but I just like to get the newest version anyway. So just write Jquery CDN or go to code.jquery.com and get the minified newest version of Jquery 2.14 minified, and then just copy the link, Control C, and we'll go back into Umbraco. And yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me, one more thing I forgot. We do actually need to go to Bootstrap. The way I like to work when I create a new website is always to go to Bootstrap first, then go to the Getting Started section, and then just grab the basic template they have down here, so you don't have to write document type and head and meta information and stuff like that. So we just grab all that and place it in the body, or in the text area here. So Control V and save. So let's just take out a couple of things we don't need. Firstly, I don't really want the title. Secondly, we don't want the Bootstrap reference because it's not actually at the location. And yeah, this we might as well leave in. Not really sure what shim and respond.js for Internet Explorer 8 support is, but we'll leave it in. Take away this and the jQuery stuff, all the way with that. There we go. So firstly we want this, so we'll grab that. And now here is the smart part. Instead of having to work in this area, you can easily work in here, of course. Just you know, script source is equal to the source of the file. Oh, and shut off the script, not with a capital S. And so we could easily do that, but what fun is there in that? Yeah, it's just it just takes so long, and you know, especially if you're a web programmer, you might not remember all the proper, you know, script. Is it source or is it href, or when is it what? So what you do is, yeah, now that we've created a document type, we in here of course want to, yeah, again show our files and refresh. And here now comes our master that you've just seen, but it's not included yet. And the reason it's not is because every time a new file is created, Visual Studio thinks, okay, it's there, you can see it, but I'm not going to include it every time we build the project. So if we went up and built the solution, if there were any errors in the master, Visual Studio would not recognize them, or it wouldn't display them to us in the error list section here. But it's always good to include in project if you want it to be part of the built when you build a solution. If anything, should be added to the bin folder or anything like that. Anyway, now that we're here, we can see the code we just wrote is in here. So we have jQuery. The next thing we'd probably want is, what did I get? I got the CSS for Bootstrap. So here we press link, and then it's a hyperreference, and that's, oh, there we go. Just put that down and finish that off there. What is it? Relation. Don't have to put that, but just to keep Visual Studio happy, we'll put the style sheet. And of course Control D to align everything beautifully. And the last part, of course, of Bootstrap is the JavaScript. So we'll grab that and put it into here. Script. Oh, sorry. Source is equal to the source. And just for looks and easiness, let's put it up above here so we have all the style sheets and all the scripts in one place. Right, anyway, we have that. Now we can close that and that, and oh, now we're just leave that open for now. Control Shift T, by the way, to open any tab you closed without, the tab you just closed, and Control W to actually close the tab, and Control Tab to switch between tabs. I have my, I don't know if you can see, but I have my Overwolf video counter up here, so I can't actually press on my local Umbraco tab. Anyway, we have all that. Here you can't see it yet, but of course if we refresh, then boom, here it comes. Right, now we have that. If we wanted to launch this site, we couldn't yet, because this is just the master template, and here there's nothing yet. But the next thing we want to do, this is just the holder, how everything's going to look. But I'm quickly going to add a couple of Bootstrap things here. Firstly, we want a div with a class container fluid. And again, as I said before, I have a bad habit of working in the Umbraco editor for quick things like that. But here, div container fluid. Remove that, and inside another div with the class of container. What the container fluid does, if you don't know Bootstrap, is it just makes a a div tag that is 100% in the width, and the div class container makes a div inside the fluid that puts it to a fixed width. The reason you want to do this is if you'd want the background of a div to be all the way out to the sides of the page with one color, and then the middle, of course, the same color, but that should be housing all the content. And this is an extremely easy way to do that, and I'll probably build a design based on this and show it to you guys later. Yeah. Anyways, that is done now, and yeah, okay. Let's just put a H1 in there for now and say this is the master. No, let's not do that. Actually, that's bad practice. Right, that's done. The next thing we want to do is create another document type. And quickly, if we go to the master here, see structure, allow at root, and enable list view, and allow child node types of master. We don't want to touch anything of that yet. And there's the generic properties, and these are all the things we want on this master. But right now we don't actually want anything really, although there is one thing, there is actually one thing we could do. Normally there's just a tab called generic properties, but we don't really need to be putting anything in there. So what we do is we go to a tabs, and then we create a new tab, and this could, for example, be site information. Let's just call it that. Press enter for the new tab, and it's created. So we go to the generic properties, and you can see it's here. And then here we could, for example, put the site name, and then comes the alias of site name. Actually, we want to call site name with a space. If you just write site name with capital letters, Umbraco will always call the alias in lowercase. But if you write it with site, no matter what you do here, and then space name, it'll always do camel case. So small site, and then capital name, then capital, for example, hello, or however I spell that. Yeah, and then we can choose the type. So if this was to be a date picker, a label, image cropper, folder, browser, all these property types. And this is where Umbraco becomes really powerful. But of course, it will be a bit too quick to dive into all that now, so I'll just show you quickly with a text string, for example. And then we can say we want this to be in our site information, and then we can save it. And we want one more. Let's get the page title. I don't know if I spelled that right. I don't think I did. Title. There we go. And that doesn't update for some reason. So page title. This is always how you want to call your aliases. And also, I think you should know about aliases is they should always be have a unique name. So otherwise, and you'll see that in a minute why. And there's also a text string, and in the site information tab. Right, there we go. Now we want to create a new document type, and we want to do it under the master. We could just create one here, But if we do it under the master, then it will reference, it will get all the properties that we just added. Why wasn't the okay, I probably forgot to save the first one. Typical. There we go. Site information. Try again. Site name is what actually we called it. There we go. Site name, text string, site information, and save. Oh, so for the page title and the site name. So now we go to the master, right click and say create. And here the name we'll create is the home. Yeah, just call it home or home page, whatever you feel. But this, yeah, just call it home. And we want a matching template. And now we have one underneath. And as you can see in the generic properties, it says here this content type uses master as a master content type. And the properties for the master content types are not shown and can only be edited on the master content type itself, as it said. But what it means with this is, if you wanted to call the we have the site name, wanted to call that site names with an S, for example, we couldn't change that here or in any other child document types. We'd have to change it in the parent, or in the root one, as you would also say, which is the master. So now that's done, we go to our templates and we reload the node or refresh the page because it's not actually showing yet. And now we have our home page. As you can see, the layout is null and so is that one, but we want the home page to reference the master page. So we go to properties, master template, and select the master, and then save. And now it's jumped underneath, and the code has been added here. Layout is equal to master.cshtml. You could of course write that yourself, but it's better to let Umbraco do it like this, because then it adds all the stuff into its own database and XML caching and so on and so on. So that makes everything just a little bit easier. But what we want to do now is go to the home, press structure and press allow it root, and press save. Right, because that means now we can go to the content area, right click on the content tab or whatever you call it, and press create. And now we can create a document type of home. And here we have the site information tab, which is inherited from the master document type, as you've just seen, and that contains a page title and a site name. So yeah, let's just give this this could be the home page. It has some properties, a published at, an unpublished at, if you wanted to do something like that, the template, and of course that the item is not published, when it's created, last edited, all stuff like that, which you could use if you wanted to. But anyway, this page title is going to be home, and the site name is going to be Umbraco test site. And then you could just press save by pressing Ctrl S. But as you can see here, it's a bit, okay, I can't actually get away here, but yeah, there we go. You can see it's grayed out, and that means it's there, but it's not published. And if a page is not published, it cannot be seen or used. So we press save and publish. Right, now it's there, and if we start up our, if we go to, let's see here, to our address, and enter it, you'll see, oh, there's a problem, which is that the render body method has not been called for the layout page, which is the views master and then the master.cshtml. What that means is that the page we're trying to call right now, which is the home page, is inheriting from the master page, but the master page is not being told, oh, by the way, any page that is referencing you, show the content inside the body frame, or where the body render body tag is placed. So we go back. This might seem a bit far-fetched or a bit weird right now, but it will make perfect sense after a while if you don't know anything about MVC or web forms, because that is how they work. So we go into the templates, we go to master, and in here we write at render body and then open close brackets. We save, and no semicolon, colon or anything. Razor, it does not work with semicolons unless you create a variable. But if you just call a function like this, there's no semicolon. That takes a bit of getting used to, if you ask me. Anyway, we can go to, we can try and make it work now, and it works. But there's nothing on the page because, well, we didn't actually tell it to put anything on the page. So here begins the exciting part. So let me just open up Visual Studio and show you there. Right, here we have the title. What we do here is, it doesn't matter what page we're on, when we are, if we have, okay, let me put it this way. On the master document type, we set two properties, one called site name and one called page title. It doesn't matter if we are on the home page or on the master page, we can still reference it. And the way we can reference these things or get them to be written is with the current page function, or whatever you want to call it. What we do is write at, and then we can write current, and then it comes up page. And just in case you didn't know, current page comes from the Umbraco template page. And of course you don't want to write this all the time, you can just take away this, and using then umbraco.web.mvc, and then just semicolon, and then you can easily inherit from the Umbraco template page now. You don't need all that weird stuff. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, yeah, I think you can do that, but if you can't anyway, but anyway, it writes it for you automatically, so just leave it at that. And of course it's having a problem here, so it's a current page, and then when we press dot, and this is where it gets a bit weird, it comes up with nothing, no IntelliSense or anything. The reason for that is the current page property is, as it says here, dynamic. It's dynamic from the Umbraco template page, and it says it returns the content as a dynamic object. And you're thinking, what the hell does that mean? Well, that means whatever we put in here, home and Umbraco test site, will be outputted here. But we can't just write current page, we need to get the properties alias. And the properties alias, the first one was page title. So there we go, we saved it, and and it says current page dot title. So here, if we go back and refresh the page, it says nothing's changed. Let me just see why a minute. Did I spell it wrong? I probably didn't I? Yeah, I did. Well, okay, one of them is spelled wrong, but okay, whatever it says there in the alias we write here. Save again, and try again, and suddenly now it says home instead of the localhost. So of course that's pretty cool. And we go back, and then we can make like a tube, what do you call it, and then do current page dot site name, which should hopefully stay the same. And then we refresh, and it says home, and then Umbraco test site. And this is a very good way also for SEO content. For example, if you were to put the meta, any meta tags or whatever, content, you could write all the current page dot this text string, and then you could change the text string for each page, and then have that as the meta information. And and the same of course with the current page. This was only for one page now, but yeah, I think you get what I mean. And now a quick demonstration. What we could do is we go into the settings and the document type and home, and think, what more do we want here? We want let's have three things. So okay, this might be a bit fast, but first we want the page title. Yep. That's text string. Nope, sorry. Yep. Probably type already exists. I actually have one already called that, which was page title. But let's just we'll use its generic type of name. I'll show you that later. Let's have a page image, for example. And here we'll just select press U to get down, and we'll select the upload. There's also a media and stuff like that, but we'll get into that later. Save it. And one more is the body text. Oh, I keep thinking it's the alias name I'm writing at the moment. Right, body text. Instead of a text string, we'll use a rich text editor. Save that. And now we go back to here, and in our home page, refresh that a minute, Oh, there's a load of stuff. Let's just include that just for sakes, and also the home .cshtml. Include. Right, now we open home, and in here we can write whatever we want. Yeah, there wasn't anything on the page, so here we can do some h1 tags, for example. And here we didn't specify any page name, so to speak. We did, or yeah, whatever you'd call it. We didn't. We could take the page title, but that's already been used up in the title up here. We could take that, of course. But what I like to do is use the name, which is current page, and then a page always has, you know, like published at and last edited at and stuff like that. And while you can't see them here, you can go to the Umbraco site and look at the documentation there and read all, or not all, but read a lot about it there and read what current page has to offer. But one it does have to offer is name, so we'll save that. And then underneath it, let's just make a line break for now. Then the next we want to add current page dot body text, and the last thing here is current page dot, I think it was page image I called it, don't remember, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go to the home page, because of course we want to put in some stuff. Yep, page image was the one, so we could upload any photo we wanted. Not sure if I actually have a photo anywhere. Let me see, pictures, don't I have anything? Uplay, no. Overwolf. Image, is that an image? No, it's a PDF. Oh, come on. Downloads, nope. Videos, documents. I should have become a bit more prepared with an image. An image in my Dropbox, I always have something there. Nope. Nothing there at all. Camera uploads. No, okay. I'll have to. We'll have to find an image very quickly. Then just go to Google, and yeah, just give me an image. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, we'll grab that. Save image as, and just save it. There we go. Now we can choose the file, and go to images, and we have the image, and then we'll put some body text, and this is the body text. Right, one of these will work and the other one won't. Try and guess which one. Right, you can see the home page, as it says, because it's called home page here. So whatever name you put here is what's going to be put here in the current page.name. Then we have, the line break, of course, and then what I wrote is this is the body text. And then, yep, I hope you guessed it. If not, don't worry, it's still early days. It's the picture that doesn't work, because it's just writing /media /1001 images.jpg. JPEG. The reason for that is it is actually working, but it can't just put out an image. You need to tell it. Yeah, it can put out the string and, you know, the location, but it can't just put out an image. You need to tell it what control to use, if you want to use an anchor tag or whatever. So we just write image source is equal to the current page.image, and then that's it. And of course give it an alt tag for SEO friendly references. Yeah, we could even do the current page.name, for example. And then when we refresh the page, we have our image. And yeah, there's a lot more of stuff like this to do with Umbraco, but this was just a quick, actually not that quick, but it was an introduction, so you now know more or less how everything works. One last thing I'd like to do very quickly is go into the settings, and then yeah, discard, and then we have style sheets. There aren't any yet, so we'll just right click and create a style sheet, and this can be our custom style sheet. So press enter, and here is our custom style sheet. Go back to Visual Studio, just include that stuff. No, sorry, it's only that. And of course, actually in here, in the app data and then logs, is the Umbraco Trace Log. So if you ever do go to the forums and write any problems you might have, then they will probably ask you for a trace log. This is where to find it. But here, media and then 1001. As you remember, it said /media /1001. This is the 1001 folder, which is referenced, and in there is one called images.jpg. So that's where that is. And then also it's in the CSS, I'm hoping. Huh, that's weird. Nothing there. I know why. We've created it, but we haven't put anything there. Let's just, for example, try and save it. If we go back now, here it is. Include project. The reason I do this is so we can go back to the master, and then of course you want to put your custom style sheet below any other style sheet. Otherwise, it can be a bit hard to overwrite any other previous styles from for example, from Bootstrap. Let's try again a minute. There we go. Save. And of course now we can go to the custom and we can say what was it called? Body dot container fluid, and then dot container, and then we can give that a background color of blue, for example. Refresh the page, and I'll probably spelled something wrong. See, background color blue. Well, that looks pretty well. What did I forget? Let's see a minute. Body container fluid. Double O in container. There we go. Boom, and then that's changed. But oh, that does hurt the eyes. But that's just, yeah, to give you guys an idea of what that means. So now we can start doing CSS, we can start putting in stuff, and yeah, that's the power of Umbraco. There's a lot more to do, and I'll show that as we go along, but yeah, this was just a video to show that. Sorry for a long time between the last and this video, but as you probably know, I work with Umbraco every single day, and I've had a lot to do this week, 10 hours of overtime. So yeah, lots of stuff to do. But I'm hoping to come with at least 1 or 2 more tutorials this week, and before I go on a week's holiday to England. It's gonna be nice. Okay, well, yep, that's it for this video. Again, if you learned anything from this video, please please subscribe, that would be very nice. And if you have any comments or suggestions to how I run my videos, if I should be better prepared, or if you like my stuttering for some weird reason, please put it in a comment so I know yeah, that other people are actually watching. And also, yeah, subscribe, like, comments. If you have any problems, please put them in the comments section so I can help you. I'll gladly help. So yeah, thanks for this time, guys, and have a good evening.